to one and all present here. I am Indrani Gorkar and I welcome you all in the under Employability for students of Government Engineering College Bilaspur. This event is jointly organized by Government Engineering College Bilaspur and ABGEC, alumni of with GEC. I welcome our today's chief guest, Sri Diwakar Mishra sir, retired ISS and State Project Administrator, SPIU, Chhattisgarh. I also welcome Sri TPS Arora sir, and this program will be presided over by him. He is the chairman of ABGEC. I welcome our expert speaker, Sri Sourav Sahay, alumnus of 1996 batch, currently working as a technical architect with Tata Consultancy Services, Pennsylvania. I also welcome principals, HODs, and HODs of various departments of GC Bilaspur, faculties, and students. Moving on, I would like to call upon Dr. Sk Sinha, Associate Professor, Electrical Engineering Department, and an alumnus of Government Engineering College Bilaspur, to throw some light on today's program. Sir, please.
Thank you, madam. गवर्नमेंट इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज बिलासपुर की एलुमनी कमेटी के तरफ से मैं एक्सपर्ट स्पीकर आज के श्री सौरव सहाय जी का आभारी हूँ, जिन्होंने संस्था के प्रथम वर्ष के छात्र छात्राओं के लिए C और C++ लैंग्वेज में ऑनलाइन लेक्चरर के लिए अपना समय डिवोट किया है। मैं यहाँ स्वागत करता हूँ प्राचार्य महोदय, हमारी एलुमनी एसोसिएशन एबजेक के अध्यक्ष अरोरा सर, जितने भी डिस्टिंग्विश्ड एलुमनी यहाँ पर उपस्थित हैं उन सबका, और एक्सपर्ट स्पीकर श्री सहाय जी का। जो गतिविधियां एक्टिविटीज एलुमनी के द्वारा पिछले कुछ वर्षों में की गई हैं, उसका मैं एक शॉर्ट में इंट्रोडक्शन देना चाहता हूं कि जो हमारी संस्था के नीडी छात्र और छात्राएं हैं, उनमें से करीब 12 लोगों को डिफरेंट एलुमनी के द्वारा ट्यूशन फीस के लिए स्कॉलरशिप दी गई है, वित्तीय सहायता दी गई है। पिछले साल लॉकडाउन के समय में करीब 23 वेबिनार हमारे डिस्टिंग्विश्ड एलुमनी ने आयोजित किए हैं, और उन वेबिनार से स्टूडेंट्स को काफ़ी फायदा हुआ है। और जो फाइनल ईयर प्रोजेक्ट्स होते हैं, उसमें भी बहुत सारे एलुमनी ने स्टूडेंट ग्रुप में शामिल होकर उनकी मदद की है। और इन सब का हमको फाइनली जो संस्था का 4 डिपार्टमेंट का MBA हुआ है, उसमें जाके फायदा मिलता है। तो ज़्यादा समय नहीं लेते हुए मैं फिर से एक बार स्वागत करता हूँ एक्सपर्ट स्पीकर श्री सौरव सहाय जी का, और ओवर टू इंद्राणी मैम। थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir. Further, I would like to invite Dr. Sk Sinha, sir, Head of Department, Electrical Engineering Department, to share his thoughts on today's event. Sinha, sir.
Yes, madam. Thank you, Indrani, madam. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Respected Diwakar Mishra sir, our SPA and chief guest of this function, Principal sir, Arora sir, and needless to say, Mr. Sourav Sahay, and other alumni, as I can see, Komal Asrani. She was my student in, I think, in 96. Then fellow professors and my dear student. As you know that today's function, it is a start of something very great for our institute, where our alumni, Mr. Sourav, he will be teaching our students the C language. C language is taught in the first year as a regular course, but still it needs a lot of input, because everybody knows that C is a bridge between hardware and software. So whoever wants to connect some hardware through software and control something, he should know that he should have a good command on C language. So as you know that Sourav sir has also written a book. He is already working in industry with TCS, and he has done a lot of projects. So our students will definitely get benefited. And I request all my students to do a small project when you are with Sourav sir and get a guidance from him. So I won't be taking much time. because everybody wants to hear Sourav sir. So thank you so much, sir. And I think that the program is going to be a big success. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Moving on, I would like to invite our Honorable Principal, Dr. B.S. Chawla, for inaugural address.
Mic mute है.
चावला सर, your mic is muted.
आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही चावला सर.
Sorry. Thank you, Indrani. Today's chief guest, Sri Divakar Mishra sir, presiding over the function, Chairman of ABGEC, my senior Sri TPS Arwa sir, guest speaker, my very dear Mr. Sourav Sahay, 86 alumnus of this college, officers, alumni, and dear students. It's golden opportunity to have one alumnus who has voluntarily come forward and offered his valuable time for mentoring of his juniors. I feel this batch which is going to be benefited is very, very lucky batch. Not better than Mr. Sahay, we can find who can teach coding, the practices which are need of industries. Mr. Sahay, as we have heard, he has authored 2 books and he is working with IT company in high position. Under his able guidance, the entire lot of students who are learning C will be able to get the real meaning of the coding, how it is applicable to industry. It will be very, very interesting and very joyful. This I'm sure. Alumni Association is continuously supporting this college. I am thankful to Arwa sir and ABGEC. Whenever we needed any support, they are highly positive. They are mentoring, they are grooming the students of this college regularly. And Mr. Sir is continuously motivating our college, and due to his motivation, college has achieved many successes, and we are in number 1 position in the state in all the important parameters of success. Not taking much time, I am again thankful to Mr. Sourav. He accepted readily my request, and very happily he came forward, and this is early morning time in US. He has sacrificed his rest period or the other period, and he is devoting that time for mentoring of his juniors. I am thankful to him. I wish a great success to this program. Thank you all. Indrani.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Shri Bharat, retired IFS, and he is SPA in SPIU Chhattisgarh for his address. Please, sir.
Good afternoon to all. Respected Sourav Sahay ji, Dr. TPS Chawla ji, Dr. B.S. Chawla, all the professors and the faculty, and dear students. I welcome Sourav Sahay, an alumnus of 1996 batch, in this special online classes on C and C++ language. As has already been told, he is working as a technical architect with TCS, and he has worked in various companies like Citibank, American Express, and others. He has also written a book in 2006 on C++, which was published by Oxford University Press. C and C double plus languages are general purpose programming languages which are applicable across various application domains, from embedded microcontrollers to supercomputers. C and C++ are also used by the interviewers to judge the programming capabilities of the candidates. I was reading the other day that in our cars now we have the airbags and they are controlled by the programming, coding. Whenever the car meets with some accident, the code activates and the airbags come. So this is the importance of coding. AICT has also included coding in first year. So it is the need of the hour for our students to learn the coding language as early as possible. I am thankful to the Alumni Association President and all the alumni. We have conducted about 15 programs with their help last year. Somehow the chain was again has revived. So I wish this program all success and request the students to please take all the help from Sourav Sahay ji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your motivating words. Now, I would like to call upon Mr. TPS Arora, sir. He is the alumnus of Government Engineering College Bilaspur from Mechanical Branch, batch 1977. He has enthusiastic personality. He is an educationalist and industrialist, and always ready to guide and motivate the students of GEC Bilaspur. Sir, please.
Thank you, Indrani. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is a wonderful program which is organized today. That is special online classes on C and C++ language under Employability Enhancement drive. In this program, the chief guest, Mr. Divakar Mishra, IFS retired State Project Administrator, SPIU CG, Tech Whip 3. I welcome him. I welcome Dr. B.S. Chawla, Principal Government Engineering College, who is a patron of all these programs, and he is a very dynamic personality. Under his able guidance, the college has done wonderful programs in previous few years. Under his guidance, under his principalship, under his patronship, and he is a big motivator for all the students and all the alumni of the college. And today we have expert speaker, Mr. Sourav Sahay, alumnus 1996 batch, is technical architect TCS. He is a multi-dimensional personality. He is with us today, and we are very much delighted that he is with us to teach the C++ language, about the importance of C++ language to all the alumni of the college, the students of the college. Coding, is a basic requirement nowadays, because when we studied here in 70s, the basic branches were there, electrical, mechanical and civil, and lot of development every year, every time to come are being done, and now you see the coding is basic requirement. So you need to know all the languages. The basic language is C, C++. So Sourav has done wonderful. He has authored books also. 2 editions have come out. And one thing I was saying about him, that he has authored a book that includes 100 exercises that will help the reader play chess blindfolded. This is something very unique, I see that my grandchildren, they ask me, Dadu, हमें बताइए सिंस सीखना है हमें. So these things are readily available. So you have done a wonderful job. I welcome you all here. I welcome Dr. Sk Sinha, Professor Singhai, Komal Asrani, all the professors, alumni, and the students in this August platform. These students, you will learn something new for the betterment in the life, and Sourav will always be a tool to help you. Of course, Dr. Chawla is there to guide you always. We have done so many wonderful programs for the students, which are shared by my colleagues, my friends, and I will not take much time on that. I welcome you once again in this platform and be benefited by this. Take help of Sourav in future also for the projects to be taken. I welcome you all once again. Thank you very much for inviting me in this day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging words. Before inviting our expert speaker, I would like to call upon our student, one of our students, to brief regarding C and C++ language. I invite Ridesh Agarwal from first year Electronics and Telecommunication branch for briefing.
Thank you, ma'am. Today, I would like to say that this is for sure and thrilling and once in a lifetime opportunity for all of us. Professor Sourav Sahay is indeed a legend for us. He is not only an amazing and successful person as an individual, but also a writer for an amazing book named Object-Oriented Programming with C++. This is truly an amazing experience for us. I really want to thank Professor Sourav Sahay for taking his precious time out for us, and also Dr. B.S. Chawla sir and other institutional heads for making this possible. As Professor Diwakar Mishra sir told about the excellent example of the airbags in the car, there are many technological implementations working in progress. So as we know, the coding is the root for all these projects. So coding is a very essential part to be done in today's time. So thank you, sir. Thank you.
Now, without further ado, I would like to call upon today's expert speaker, Shri Sourav Sahay sir. Shri Sourav Sahay is a 1996 batch alumnus. He worked nearly 23 years of experience in the IT. During his career, he has worked for prestigious clients like Citibank, General Motors, Baxter Healthcare, Federal Reserve, Bank of India. Sourav sir has authored a book on C++, whose first in 2012 by the prestigious Oxford University Press. He has taught C and C++ to the students of Calcutta and has also conducted a number of workshops for large corporations. He has also authored a book that includes 100 exercises that will help the reader play chess blindfolded. Isn't it great? He is currently writing 2 more books on it. During his free time, he himself plays chess, and he is a great musician and he plays harmonica as well. I welcome you, sir, and I give you more information regarding C and C++ to our students. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Indrani, for the introduction. This is Sourav Sahay. Can everybody hear my voice?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. So thank you,
Yes,
Mr. Diwakar Mishra and Dr. Chawla, Mr. Arora, and Professor Singhai and Dr. Sk Sinha. It is an absolute honor to take this class. when I started learning C language way back in 1996, 97, around that time, and C++, books were not readily available, and I used to struggle a lot to understand the basics and what that language does and understand it correctly. Okay, many of the books, they will tell you things that are not entirely accurate, and they will not enable you to code correctly in the correct way using those languages. So I used to think a lot, experiment a lot, and that is why the book came out. So whenever, and for some time I was also a professor, not really, I mean, it was a part-time teaching job with Calcutta University and Jadavpur University. So it was my way of ensuring that people who are struggling to learn those languages, for them the learning curves becomes a bit smooth. So that is one thing that motivated me to share whatever I have learned with them, so that people can learn faster without too much trouble, unnecessary trouble. Okay, so I mean, the teaching process should not be unnecessarily difficult for everyone. Now, one thing that caught my attention when Professor Singhai, thank you sir for pointing this out, that it is used for systems level programming. So that prompted me to give another suggestion to the students that apart from C language, see to it that you learn Unix and Linux very well. Because this language is used to code using those operating systems. Okay, so that will be a very good idea. And yes, the job market for C programmers, although I have not worked on C and C++ as such, I worked on Java and some related technologies. And these days, mostly we have got tool-based programming. Okay, but still, learning a language is a very important thing. It will help you. And I think somebody else also pointed out that during the interviews, people are normally asked to code in C language. And there is a reason behind it, that the language is simple and it is pretty simple to code in it. Okay, so you don't have to get distracted by unnecessary jargon and all that. So even complicated coding, say if you want to build some data structures and all that, that can be done easily on C language. Obviously, C has its own limitations, and that is why C++ came along. And of course, we will be in the near future going through C++ also. So that is a brief introduction to what you can expect during this course. I have been through the syllabus, and so I will be teaching as per the syllabus, but occasionally, because I have been a practicing engineer for the past 23 years, if I think that something is relevant for you guys, something that you should know, that will help you later on get employment more easily and make you a better engineer, that I will be sharing with you. Okay, so that is, I think, what I had thought of as a brief introduction. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, you can ask me now, and otherwise I will start the class. Okay, so I think I can start now.
Questions. Sir, I have tried blindfolded chess for a very long time, but sir, there was not even a 0% success in it. So, can you give any key or mantra to it?
Yeah, just see to it that you have a habit of visualizing things inside your head. Okay, that is very important. Okay, one of the things, and this is not really anything to do with any mental game. Even when you are working as a software engineer later on, you will have to formulate a lot of things inside your head. Okay, so what they call in America that you should stand and deliver. Okay, so many times if you are in a meeting, you are under a lot of pressure. Everybody is like, focusing on you, and you are expected to think quickly and rapidly and come up with some answer. Okay, so you should train your brain to think like that. Okay, because as an engineer, that is what you will be expected to do. Okay, one of the good examples was what those three people used to do in 3 Idiots. Okay, they would improvise quickly. All right. Of course, they used to do it for funny reasons, but still, in real life also that plays a role. Practice is what you can, what will help you. Okay, and take it slowly. And one more thing that you can do is what I do very frequently is that whenever I am going for walks and all that, I think about whatever I'm going to solve on that day. And in fact, this Friday itself, something very good happened, and this is a practical trick that I can share with everyone. And it is not that most people know about it. So when I was having my morning walk, I was thinking about a problem that I had been trying to solve for maybe a couple of days. The entire team was stuck, and we had practically given up on that, and we were thinking of getting a sign off from the client that this cannot be done. Okay, but I had a feeling that this can be done. There must be something missing. Okay, so when I was walking, I just deliberately started thinking about it and let my mind relaxed it. Okay, you have to relax your mind. That is important. If you get tensed up, your mind will not be able to work properly. And very soon I was able to visualize the solution, and I practically came, and it is important for me to say this, I practically came running back to my home, switched on my laptop, and solved the problem. Okay, so, and this is not the first time it has happened. It happens all the time. Okay, so the thing is, by far the most important emotion is passion. Okay, you should be very passionate about what you are doing. Okay, and you should do only those things that you are passionate about. Of course, circumstances might dictate some other things. Okay, so you have to be practical also. Okay, you can't always dictate matters. So sometimes you have to do what is expected from you, even if you don't like it. Okay, you won't always get to do things that you like, but yeah, it should not happen too often. So one of the things that you can already feel is that I'm very passionate about software engineering and computer programming. And I learn all the time. Okay, so I keep learning. I study like a schoolboy, 8 to 10 hours every week. Okay, and that helps me. Okay, so this much I can tell you straight away. Okay, never stop learning. People will say that, okay, you are, for example, I'm almost 50. Okay, next year I will be turning 50. Okay, but I study and act like a teenager. Okay, so just like you guys. Okay, and in all probability, I have more energy than you guys. Right, so you keep learning. Okay, that is important. Okay, be passionate about what you're doing. So that is one thing. And as far as blindfold chess is concerned, it will make you a good mental athlete, and it will help you in your work later on, also as a programmer or as a software engineer. So that I can definitely tell you straight away. Okay, so any other questions? Does that answer your question, by the way?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Okay. Any other questions before we start? Okay, I'll take that as a no. Okay, so let us start. All right. So the first thing is that here I will be asking questions, but I will not wait for the answer most of the time, because I can see that we have got about 123 people in the call. Okay, so we will try to keep a healthy pace. Okay, so the first thing that we have to understand is what is a computer program. Okay, now which can be written in any language, does not matter. But what is a computer program? Okay, so now see, the thing is that the computers, they can be of any type, mainframe, laptop, anything in between. They all understand binary language only. Okay, zeros and ones and all that. So they understand something called machine instructions. But we humans don't understand that language. So what you will see that the textbook answer to this, what is a computer program, is that it is a set of instructions that the computer understands. Okay, but what does this mean? Okay, so what happens is that in a computer program, okay, we write in a human-like language, that is something that we understand, and then there is something called a compiler that will convert from that human-like language written program into the machine instructions that the computer understands. Okay, so that is the interpreter. So say, for example, if you go to any other state and you don't know the native language and you have an interpreter with you, or maybe a different country where people speak a language that you don't understand and they don't understand your language. So you have somebody called an interpreter who will do all that interpretation for you. So here basically you are talking to the computer, you are asking the computer to do something for you. Okay, so you are writing a computer program which is in a human-like language, something that you understand. Okay, but then there is something called a compiler that will convert that into a language that the computer understands. Okay, so this is a computer program. All right. Now they can be written in several languages, C language being one of them. Now in C language, one of the things that we can show, and I am about to write this, unfortunately, I still don't have access to my compiler. Okay, but I will show you something. I think I can share my screen here. It's in Microsoft Teams. It is possible to share the screen, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, I'm looking at the menu. Usually, I'm able to do it.
Sir, share content one option. Maybe it's there.
Sir, it's besides your mic.
Oh, okay. Open share tray. All right. Okay, good. All right. Thank you. Here we go. Can you see this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you see this? Okay. All right. Okay. So you might be familiar with this simple program. All right. This is written in C language. So this is the human-like language that we understand. Okay, but the computer does not. So the compiler will convert this into a language that the computer understands. All right. Now, another practical tip I can give you is that so even this simple program, do you think it is correct? Okay, so there is something wrong with it. Okay, and here is what is wrong with it. And you should build this habit starting from day one. Even if you are doing small things, okay, see to it that you document it correctly. So here is what we do. Some documentation, it does not matter. I'm just giving you an example. Okay. One more thing that you can do is, and on this part I don't remember the exact syntax, but I can show you that. So you will see something here, a difference between what it was earlier and what it is now. Okay, two differences. One is that you have got good documentation. Okay, so this is a good programming practice. And always remember that documentation is not only for you, it is for the next developer. Because very frequently, you will be moving out of the project and another developer will be replacing you. Okay, this happens all the time in the industry. So you have to be ready for that. Okay, so if it is properly documented and later on if somebody comes along to understand what is written, if they have to debug the code or they have to even understand what is written there, it will help the coding a lot. Okay, so this is a good practice, that is documenting your code. And it can be in any tool. Okay, so the tool that I use, okay, I don't have to write handwritten code like this. Okay, the tool generates it automatically. Even then, within the tool itself, whatever I create, I document it extensively. Okay, and there are some best practices for documentation also. That is number one thing. Number two is what you will notice, that instead of just hard coding the value hello world, okay, into the message, okay, I put it in a separate variable. Okay, so this is another thing that you can try. The advantage is that if we have to reuse this message again and again, and this is a very simple example. Okay, so start with simple things. So say for example, this message, if it has to be used again and again, okay, you already have it in a variable. All you have to do is to reuse it. Okay, so if this string has to be reused again and again, you can do that. Okay, so this is another programming practice that you can use. Okay, so try to build code that is mature and well built. Okay, so this is one thing. Second is, okay, give me a second, I accidentally closed the syllabus, and I will try to match the syllabus as much as possible, but occasionally I will be deviating and giving you some practical tips from the industry. Okay, so that is one thing. Then right. The other thing that I have thought of is, so, and I don't think I'm sharing that. Okay, let me share my entire screen. Give me a second. Okay, so there should be an option to share the entire screen, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't see that.
Sir,
all right, no problem.
Sir, when you press the share, then one option is there, sir, screen or window. So screen one.
Oh, screen number one?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, got it. All right, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think you.
Yes.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, fine. So now what you can do is that when you start working, all right, for your code, so you can do this. Okay, so you can have this. Let me check why this is not coming on this. Okay, so I put it at the wrong place. Let me close this. And okay, so again, get organized. This is the next tip that I can give you, that you should get organized. So here, see, you can see inside my folder, I have created a folder called C language. Here I have a folder called SRC for the source code. This is where I am having my source code. Okay, now whenever you compile and all that, so you have say a separate folder for the compiled executables, and so that is another thing that you have to keep in mind. All right. Okay, and okay, now the algorithms. Again, okay, this is another practical tip that I can give you, and we will be going through the various algorithms during the course, and okay, and so one more thing that you can do is when, say for example, you write another program for linked lists. Okay, say so first thing that I do, and this is something that one of my seniors had taught me long time back, is to do this. Okay, now please observe carefully. So what he said was that don't write the code immediately. Okay, first plan it inside your head and then document it. Okay, so say for example, okay, so this is one of the things that we will do. Okay, now see, so far I have not written one single line of code. All right, but what I have done is that I have I have written down the algorithm. All right, this is what I'm going to do. Next is, all I have to do is do this, Control C, V, and say for example for adding a note. Okay, so I will isolate that part. So suppose I'm writing the function to add a node. Okay, so what I do is, now I have this thing written with me. All I have to do is to start filling it up. And you can manage this. Okay, so say for example, so here we have something like so you get the idea. Okay, so this is what we can do. All right. So once you have the actual documentation and the algorithm written down, then only start coding. But always write down the steps and be sure, get it reviewed. Okay, that is another thing. Okay, so you should, you will probably have some technical lead working in your team, or even if it is one of your buddies working with you. Okay, always get a fresh pair of eyes to go through whatever you have done. Okay, and get your reviews done often and in between also, not like right at the very end, by when it might be a little late to correct for some mistake that you might have committed. Again, these might be small things, but you start the habit now. It will pay you very rich dividends later on. Okay, and as I said, is that you should write the documentation not only for your own understanding, but also for the understanding of the future developers. They will benefit a lot when they have to take ownership of your code, and maybe you move out of the team, or maybe you go to another project or whatever, okay, when they come along, they should benefit from whatever you have done, whatever documentation you have written. Okay, see, the code will work even if it is not documented. That is not a problem. Okay, but there is a difference between being just another run-of-the-mill computer programmer and a really strong software engineer. Okay, these are two different things. Okay, so try to implement best practices from day one. All right. So that is one thing. All right. So representing the algorithm using flowcharts, pseudo code, and all this. Okay, this again, see, what you saw just now was a pseudo code. All right. Pseudo code helps a lot in complex algorithms. Okay, and flowcharts also. So try not to think of these things as theoretical. Okay, I myself, even after so many years of experience, and my colleagues, all of them, we frequently use flowcharts to depict the problem. Okay, and it helps a lot to solve the problem. Okay, so one thing that you can do is, and what we call prototyping. Okay, so in fact, the tool that I use to build the software applications for my clients, okay, it anyway allows you to create flowcharts. Okay, and you can call them prototyped flowcharts, and so that is something that will help you later on. Okay, so see to it that you understand the various shapes, the standard shapes. Say, for example, what does a rhombus do? What does a diamond shape do? Okay, so these things will help you later on to represent the problem and simplify it, decompose it, simplify it. Okay, that will also help a lot. So these things are practical things. It is not like, schoolboy, high school student will create flowcharts only just to pass exams and all that. It is not like that. It will help you. Okay, and even after so many years of experience, I use it all the time. Okay, all right. Now, one of the source codes that I have not been able to lay my hand on, let me see if it has got downloaded, was this one. Okay, so that is that. Just bear with me a minute, and I will show you something which will hopefully not take too much time. So I have it in my Google Drive. Okay, for some reason Google Drive is not letting me download it. Okay, it is malfunctioning. I'm not sure why. Okay, I'll try and download this in advance. It should have been with me. Okay, bear with me for just a minute. This should be pretty quick. Yeah, all right. This was fast. Okay, so in the meanwhile, what I'm going to do is I'm going to download this the source code from my book, and I can give you some actual examples. I remember putting some algorithm. This one does not have it. There was one on linked list. I'm not able to. That was probably chapter 9. Let me check. Yep, this one. Yeah, all right. So see, this is another example. Okay, this is in C++. Okay, but you see that this these all this documentation. Okay, so when I write the pseudocode. All right. For example, a long time back, I had implemented something called the Huffman's algorithm for saving the space occupied by strings. Okay, so that thing, for that I had written the pseudocode first. Okay, I probably have it with me somewhere. Okay, I will locate it. Okay, and what I had done is I had written just simple pseudocode. Okay, so I can even show you an example. Okay, I can write it out for you. Okay, so say for example you want to say, just you want to do some sort of you want to search for a string, because so you want to write a code for searching for a string. Okay, so all you do is write like this. So this is not exactly the way you met it. I'm just giving you an example. Okay, see, as you can see that I'm just writing down these steps. Okay, let me save this, and giving an example. I know this algorithm is not correct. Okay, but all I'm doing is I'm giving you the pseudo code. Okay, how to write this pseudo code. This is very important, and you will notice that even if you are using some tools to generate the code for you, very frequently you might have to implement a complex algorithm. Okay, and in that case, you can easily visualize yourself attending a meeting where somebody is writing this pseudo code on the blackboard, and people are going through that and giving their review comments. This happens all the time. Okay, please don't think again this is some sort of a theory which has no practical value. It is not like that. Okay, so say for example, and again from my practical experience, I can tell you. A few years ago, I had, along with my team, built a very complex algorithm for the state of New Jersey. So the Justice Department of the state of New Jersey are using that, and the users of this application are the judges that preside over the criminal courts in the state of New Jersey. So there, the complex algorithm, when it runs, it gives out two outputs. One is whether the defendant that is present in front of the judge should be let out on a bail or should be sent back to jail, and if he has to be set free on a bail, then what will be the terms and conditions. That is one thing. The other is how risky is that individual to the society. Okay, so for this, the algorithm was scanning through a number of backend systems where the history of people that live in the state of New Jersey is kept. Okay, so we were interfacing with the police department's database, and also with a number of other databases. And the thing is that the algorithm was very complex. Okay, it was not like you just do some simple calculation and you get the answer. It was not like that. So the first part of it was the integration part, where we were integrating with the various systems, fetching the data, massaging the data. Why? Because each of those systems was sending us the data in a different format. Okay, so we had to then massage the data, normalize it, and after we would normalize it, we would run the algorithm. Okay, and of course after that we had to optimize the whole thing so that the performance is quick. After all, the judge is not going to sit there for 2 days for the tool to return the answer. They want the answer like immediately. Okay, so performance optimization was another thing. That was a separate thing. Okay, but at the crux of it all, even despite all these things, okay, the basic principles of good coding remain the same. Okay, it is not like, you do something today, you don't do that tomorrow. It is not like that. Okay, it will still help you. Okay, so these are some things that I can tell you. Okay, while I'm remaining within the syllabus, I'm also at some points encouraging you to build good quality code. Okay, and always remember that communication skills is very important in the software industry. Okay, so if your communication skills are not good, please work on it. You should be able to express yourself clearly, and that will help you a lot. And one of my mentors even told me that if your communication skills are not good, you should not be in the software industry. And I think he's right. Okay, so that is another thing. Very frequently, you will have to write emails, especially during this period when we are not co-located. Okay, so we frequently communicate with people over emails or messages, Skypes and all that. So if your communication skills are good and you're able to express yourself clearly, that will go in your favor. All right, I have seen a lot of people struggle with their communication skills. Their engineering skills are very good, but because of their lack of communication skills, they are not able to perform optimally. Okay, so these are the things that I can tell you. All right, and let me quickly go back to the syllabus again, just to be sure that I'm on track. And I will be implementing, unfortunately, I was busy the entire weekend because I was on a family vacation. So I could not install the compiler. I have the compiler with me. Okay, so I will be installing the compiler, and I will go to the actual code and show how it runs and what it does. Okay, and again there will be some best practices there also. Okay, so these are the things that I can tell you for today. So Professor Rathod, you are there in the call, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And
okay, do you want me to go through anything more than this? Or
no.
is it?
As you are comfortable, sir. So
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the thing is that it is already 7 o'clock my time. Okay, so I have to get ready and start my office work.
Sure, sir.
Okay,
sure.
So you should start. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Yeah.
So should I conclude, sir?
Yeah, we can conclude for today, and I will get into an offline discussion with you for the next class. Hopefully, let us have it during the weekend if possible. Okay, weekdays are like a little tight for me.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll get into an offline discussion with you and Dr. Chawla, sir.
Okay, sir. So shall I propose a vote of thanks, sir? Now. Okay.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Okay. So, sir, I want to extend my generous thanks to Honorable Chief Guest for joining and addressing the students. And I would like to thank Arora sir, TPS Arora sir, for his all-time blessing and support for our college. I take this occurrence to extend my generous thanks to the expert speaker, Mr. Sourav Sahay sir, for joining from such a long distance and giving his support, cooperation, appreciating involvement and willingness to start this great initiative. And I would like to thank alumni committee also for connecting alumni, the great alumni of this college, to the current pursuing students. I would like to thank Indrani ma'am for anchoring the event. Finally, I would like to thank, I'm very thankful to the entire participant. I'm sure entire college will get benefit from this initiative, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Sourav here. It is an absolute honor to work with you and ensure that the students have a head start in their careers. And I would like to thank Chawla sir. We go back a long way, and he was one of our teachers when I was a student, and one of my inspirations. And we worked closely on some other activities also. And Chawla sir was a true inspiration to everyone. And I thank Chawla sir for this opportunity. And I hope to continue for a long time. I'm very enthusiastic about this. So thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for your great words, sir. Thank you so much. So here we conclude the meeting for today, and the next class timing will be notified to you all students soon, very soon. So thank you all for participating. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks everyone. Bye.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, beta.